So we've covered a lot already. We've pieced together more than we've had before. And that's what you need to understand that Power BI will allow you to do. We can take more, we can find more in our data sets than we've necessarily thought we had. And that's really what big data is about. It's not about saying, let's go and bring more data in. It's about saying, this is what you've got. Let's leverage it so we're getting as much out of it as we possibly can. Let's use what we have to get the most, because what we have, we know. And that knowing and that understanding, that knowledge is what allows us to put together those hypotheses, understand how we can put together business improvement plans, and actually then validate throughout each and every step the progress and the progression that we're making against everything that we do. Hi, my name is Ross, the creator and founder of Geordie Consulting and Geordie Intelligence, the YouTube channel you're watching right now. What we're doing now is we're looking at what we can extend. So we started with a really simple, didn't we, view of just what happened today at a park run, to then say what happened at all the days at this park run, to then say what's happened across the whole region of park run. And it changes, doesn't it? The value of that data changes and extends. And then, most recently, we've had this view of, hey, there's this SROI piece going around about parkrun. What's the social ROI of it? And that's really difficult to quantify. But what we can do is we can look and we say, what about the potential economic benefits to potentially the hospitality industry in a particular area from parkrun? Is that something we can calculate? Can we look at that? And again, it's never going to be perfect, that side of it, but we've taken great steps in being able to put together a logical model, which is, for that kind of thing, that's 90% of the battle. Have that logical model. This is why we have chosen this value. This value is why we're picking it this way. This is the definition that we're applying. This is the business logic. Because we can discuss and we can argue day in, day out about what we need to do. But if we're talking about moving margin lines, that's very different to say, okay, we were able to take steps and make progress and move forward. So let's expand and see what this all means in the context of Power BI and why it's such an important topic that we need to think about it now. So we should start here, shouldn't we? Okay, this is our app that we've built. Okay, we've got our lovely app. We've got a scorecard showing progression in Newcastle about parkrun. Okay, I know I need to add all the rest of the regions of the local authorities in here. I do. But we can see we've got progress that we're able to track. This is all showing from where we initially started, looking at a single place. We've got then our parkrun report that we can go to and we can see, and it'll load up and we can see, all right, okay, here we go. I can go to the scorecard that we've put in. Again, it's a different scorecard, and look and see what do these all mean. So I'm able to do all that already. Well, we knew this. This is what's the point. The piece that we forgot about is, of course, this. Okay, so we've got food hygiene information in there. Okay, and if we go back to our scorecard, we've got food hygiene information in there. Information that isn't related to that first one is front and center to me and to my management team. So for me, I could be looking saying, well, what's going on in Newcastle? What's going on with Newcastle's restaurants? They seem to have dropped down recently. Things are there. Information is there for me to make insights and understanding based on it. Okay. What we can also do, okay, and this is where it's probably showing a bit clearer, is if we come over here, this is the other app that we started with, okay, and we've kind of not used, the original plan was I was going to think about using this one for this video series, but I thought, no, let's go back, let's make one more about Newcastle with the two data sets we've got around the northeast area. So this is the New York one, and I've just thrown in parkrun data there for it, for the sake of it. So we've effectively got here 4 completely different, not really related data sets that we're able to surface information up about, okay? And the New York stuff was around, well, we've got borough information, we've got these standardized bits of information that we can leverage and put in place and understand how that flows through. Because one of the main things from your big data when you start saying, well, we're going to do this, is always going to be, well, by department, by geography and by time. Those are kind of going to be your big three areas you can look at. You know, by time and by geography are probably some of the biggest ones that you'll do. We're always looking at by time. That's why calendars are so important to be built. There's, you know, almost a whole topic on Power BI about calendars, because time is that most important of dimensions that we will get. So we've got this capability where we can really leverage and put together dashboards that bring everything front and center to the audience. And remember, the most important thing is this is a menu system. Okay, so I'm looking and I can see, all right, here's the information I want to see. You know, we even got like the subcomponents of here, so we can see for the average finish time overall, and then for men and for women, we've got those listed. But it's a menu, so if I click on it, it will take me to the report page. Okay, if I go back, I can look at the other one. So I can say, oh, here's the map. I want to see the water tower locations across New York. And we can look and we can see, here's the water tower locations. This is how the inspectors have gone through. Okay, so we're able to leverage huge amounts of information. Insights can be gleaned by looking at that one simple place, this menu system that we have. And if you put your tiles for your top level KPIs, so just like we've got here, instead of having these 6 boxes would be on a dashboard. These 6 boxes would be linked to drilled through pages that would then have information and insights specific to that information there. Okay, that's how a business dashboard should be built. This is something that's been built as an informational tool to allow you to explore, and there's a lot of rules that are sacrificed by the wayside to bring it into one location for you. But don't forget, remember what we've done each week is we've gone through and we've opened up, just like I'm doing now, a new template file. So we've been able to connect to that and put something in here. We can then also write custom DAX measures in here. So we're not limited by what's been produced already. We can expand, we can extend, we can look further forward. You know, I could be looking saying, well, how many people have we had the last 3 years? Could we potentially guesstimate what a forecast should look like? What would it look like if we added 10% to that number, if we added 20% to that? I can do all this from here. Everything is available using the measures and the toolkits that we've got here. We've got the schema information available to actually then make sure I can read and see the code that's been written and built into this model. There's nothing there that's going to make my life onerous or particularly challenging from a development perspective because of the way this is structured. I've got the page layouts that we want to use. These are our official pages, structured, ready to use. I've got some simple instructions. Tell them, well, this is what you need to do. If you want to put the filter page, copy this icon and it will link you back to the filter page for people. Here's the back button. You can choose to say, well, it's going to go somewhere. You can use back functionality within Power BI, or you can actually hard code a page. Depending on what you do, depends on what you're going to put there. But everything's built super simply here. And we're not then limited and constrained by what's already out there. And because you do this with your data sets, because that's how you structure your environment, the reports that we've generated here can be fed back into the app structure. They can then surface back up into a corporate dashboard that can then allow you to explore additional insights. So everyone else can view what you see, what you viewed, and potentially what I built might be around. Hey, I'm interested in Jesmond Dean. I've built something specific for Jesmond Dean, like we've done with the customer segmentation. That's built largely with the insights of Jesmond Dean. Does that apply elsewhere? Would it apply, for example, to a junior parkrun? It's worth understanding. So we can understand more about our data because it's accessible to everybody. Remember, I do not have admin rights. If I go back to my Power BI homepage here, okay, and I look at my workspaces, I don't have any workspaces. Okay, I don't even have workspace access to the workspace that my app resides in. I have build access against the model, which requires me to have a Power BI Pro subscription or something along those descriptions, a builder access or a builder subscription. But I can do so much with that. I don't need to do it. I'm not the one who's going to be in charge and rewrite everything. But we can see, look, I've pulled all this information. I can see all these report content. It's all here for me. But it's not in my area to be able to go and recreate them. But I can go in, I can expand on something, and I can explore it to get what I need out of it. And that way will enable me to benefit the business. In fact, if we went through and I open an Excel spreadsheet now, just go with a blank spreadsheet, and I go to my get data from here, you can see these are the Power BI workspaces that I have access to with my job role. So what do I have build access to? And that build, it's so powerful, but it's so safe for the organization, because that model that we're going to connect to, they are going to be, it's hidden there we go. They are going to be locked. They are our safe, our protected data sets that exist within our organization. We talk about we need to go through and build certification processes so that we can certify data sets to say, well, these are the sources of truth. You know, if you certify your core data sets, give people build access and they can go and build insights based on that. Say, in my experience, I find, help me build something. It's drag and drop. It's not complicated for somebody to say, right, okay, I'm going to go here, I'm going to come to the new page. I can say, I'm interested in looking at, say, local authority. How many people did we have last time at the events? Okay, so I can go last. Participation. Where am I? There we go. All aggregations. Last. Yep. Okay, and we can say, well, I want to see registered. Okay, and we can see last registered, and then we could also say, well, I want to see previous registered. Okay, so we can say previous registered when I can see it. It helps if I expand it, doesn't it? Previous registered. So we put those two together, okay, and it'll say, oh, I think this is what you're trying to do, and no, I wanted this. Okay, so we can now start to see, in terms of last weekend and the weekend before, what the difference is for a local authority. We could say actually take that through and go to the event name, show it by the event name. And it's easy, isn't it? This isn't difficult. So if I turned around and said, oh, something's bad has happened, we've got to explore this. What's the first 5 events look like? What does... I can explore, I can expand, and I can understand all of that information myself without needing to do more. I can build and understand insights that are going to drive improvements into the business. And that is vital. That is the benefit. So this being able to build insights, my own insights, that's the frame, isn't it? That's how you build improvement activities within your organization. I have a feeling, based on my job role, this is something that's going on. Can I prove it? Is it something I can actually go and explore? Does it make sense? Am I wrong? Am I right? If I'm right, how can we wrap that up further to experiment with, well, what does that look like for other stores? What does that look like for other events? What does that look like for others? To then wrap that into a continual improvement cycle for your organization to build that improvement into the way you do business. That's the cornerstone, isn't it? But that's only possible because data is available to me as a business user to go in and say, all right, can I just check this? I'm not sure about. I want to find out some more about. I experienced something. I think it's a problem. Put it in, okay? I haven't had to suddenly go and pull new data through. It might be that to go to that next step for that improvement activity, we have to update the model. That might happen. But I've been able to make a start already, and that's key, okay? So if you like what you hear and you think to yourself, do you know what? I need some help, I need some support, I need some guidance. Got a meeting link down below. Request a meeting with Geordie Consulting. We will work with you and we will help you deliver excellence into your organisation. For now though, stay safe, take care, ta-da.